It finishes 1-1. Liverpool will be the happier of the two sides. I think that's fair to say, isn't it, Ali, with that result, given the injuries they had going into this game?
Yeah, and given the fact that Kevin De Bruyne had a penalty miss, and given the fact that there was a clear chance then for Gabriel Jesus, if you're Liverpool, you take it. But overall, I just think from both teams, what we saw in the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, you may have thought, oh, yeah, hello.
Yeah, Liverpool had chances straight away, and then City hit back. It was a bit basketball-esque, which is kind of what you expected.
We got something here.
But then at half-time, it was like they had a little chat and went, should we just take a point? Yeah, it's fine. It's raining and cold.
Somebody turned it off. Somebody pulled the plug, and this team's forgot about playing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much that they weren't trying to win as much as they said, you know what? We don't know we're not going to take chances that we don't need to right now. Should we really commit this guy forward? Nah. Are we sure about this defensively? Not so much. All right, let's just sit here. And it's not quite the personality nor the mentality of either one of these teams. And it just showed. The last 30 minutes were unwatchable.
No, it was terrible. Gab, it was interesting because you looked at the lineup, you thought, oh, Jota, Firmino, Salah, and then you've got Manchester City at the other end. There's goals. You've got to take the over. This is going to be 5-4.
Well, and in the first half, I mean, I think it was heading in that direction. And certainly, as Ali said, it looked that way. But by the way, we didn't see this in the highlights, but just before the penalty Kyle Walker gave up, Raheem Sterling, I don't recall if it was Jota perhaps or maybe Jogo. That was a penalty on him. It's just like he stays on his feet. He makes a cardinal error, which I know Moreno would never allow, that you get kicked,
correct.
You stay on your feet, no penalty.
I don't think it was outside the box, wasn't it, Gab?
This game could have gone a different direction.
It was outside the box. I don't think it was ever going to be a penalty.
Well, I mean, I think it was close, as I recall. But hey, you may well be right. But I just think over the balance of the game, I think City will be ruined. He didn't take the 3 points. And from Liverpool's perspective, it's 1 point. But look, now Spurs are above us in the table, albeit on goal difference. And of course, Leicester top of the league.
Yeah, overall, I think it's good for the league, obviously, that it's much more competitive. But just the quality.
Right.
24 hours before we saw De Clasico, brilliant. Bayern Munich, excellent. Borussia Dortmund pushing them all the way. And this, you just felt, everyone just looked tired.
But isn't that a conversation that we have had about a lot of the marquee matchups in the Premier League so far? And that we seem to have this conversation more often than not, in that we're expecting something from these teams, and it's not quite happening. It's not quite happening. It hasn't happened for Manchester City in the Premier League. Let's just focus on Manchester City for a second. This is yet another game in which you're looking around and you're saying, man, they could play for another 2 hours and they're not going to score a goal. They're just kind of passing the ball around. Okay, it's good possession, I suppose, but what are we getting in the final third? They get to that final third, and Raheem Sterling is having a difficult time trapping the ball. Creating opportunities is not quite there. It is a missed touch by Gabriel Jesus that ends up working out. But other than that, okay, you're still thinking, where are the goals going to come from? And it's just not quite what you expect from Manchester City. As for Liverpool, you saw some early signs of what they can be offensively, but I also saw a team that said, you know what? It's not quite like us. It's not what we feel comfortable doing, but maybe a point is not the worst thing.
Gab, if I'm one of the other sides, aside from obviously Liverpool, Manchester City, I love what I saw today because I see a team that isn't the dominant sides that we've seen over the last couple of years and a team that can be got at.
I'll answer that, but first, Ali, you're like the Grinch, okay? For those of us who were never international strikers, please don't shatter the illusion that Gabriel Jesus channeled his inner Romario and did that intentionally. Please don't. There's no need for that. Not after the second half we saw today. But yeah, as far as the others are concerned, I think what you're seeing is a lot of fatigue, a lot of mental fatigue, a lot of physical fatigue for both these teams. And you're right, Manchester City looked pretty rudderless in the second half. I mean, again, I think they took most of the initiative, but you look at it and they look vulnerable. And you do wonder if this is the campaign where, maybe one of those teams that don't play in Europe, or maybe a team that goes out in the group stages of the Europa League, maybe say, hey, you know what? We can budget our energy between now and the end of the season, build up a lead, and maybe we could do something, because this is a weird old season with the congested fixture list and of course, the lack of preseason and COVID and all that good stuff.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.